What is going on, legendary humans? Ryan Magic here, and in this video I'm going to reveal to you the purest form of meditation. Now, if you're new to this channel, click the subscribe button so you can stay in touch with my future videos. Keep yourself accountable to your journey of growth spiritually, personal development wise. Let's do this. So in this video, guys, I'm going to be taking you through what is, well, I'm a meditation teacher myself. I've practiced a lot of different types of meditation, and I've been lucky enough to learn about a particular form of meditation that is the most pure. I've done over a couple of thousand hours of this form of meditation. The cool thing is it's the same meditation that you have people like Joe Rogan, the Beatles, Ray Dalio, Oprah, Katy Perry, Russell Brand. There's some amazing people that practice this form of meditation. But before I go too much, because I'm going to give you some serious background on the founder of this form of meditation, who's an ancient, an Indian guru that has essentially paid forward this practice, which has been part of the Vedic wisdom lineage for a long time. Before I do that, I want to explain all the different types of meditation so you understand the categories. I'm then going to go through and explain how this particular technique works. And then I'm going to talk about the benefits so you understand, like, why would you practice that. Now, I'm just going to also pre-frame that I used to think meditation was a load of bullcrap, and it completely changed my life. Like, this technique, more than anything else, has revolutionized the way that I live my life with my health, my intuition, my vitality, my fulfillment. Just changed my life. And you're going to understand why in a second. So let's first and foremost go into how this particular practice, like what are the different types of meditation. Types of med. Trade your meds for med, as they say. So first and foremost, it's important to understand that you have so we're going to go into some spiritual theory here. You have the manifest world. Okay, the manifest world is the material world. So you have the manifest or the material, and then you have the unmanifest. Now, unmanifest. Lots of different theology talks about this in different ways. So Joe Dispenza talks about this unmanifest world as infinite potential. It's like stored potential. He'll also talk about it as the quantum. And then you have people like, or you have different people that will say it's isness is the unmanifest, or it's the divine, or it's oneness, or it's or the unmanifest, right? So there's lots of different ways of referring to this unmanifest, but then you've got the obvious, which is the manifest. So I'm going to talk about the 4 different categories of meditation. Right, let's do this. Okay. So first and foremost, at the highest, at the most manifest level, the most material level, we have, lo and behold, we have mindfulness. Which is not really, it's like when people say, oh, my form of meditation is surfing, or my form of meditation is just walking in nature. It's not the purest type of meditation. It's mindfulness. It's being present in your surroundings, okay? It's not actually a meditation technique per se. But you have mindfulness techniques. The next category is connecting techniques. Now, connecting techniques, think guided meditations. So heart-based meditations where you can go through and do like a body scan, and you can connect with different parts of your body. You've got guided meditations that are more like connecting in and expanding your heart and knowing the different chakra systems and then amplifying connecting to different energies and parts. They're connecting techniques. You then have observing techniques, or also known as witnessing techniques. And that is, if you do what were we talking about before?
Vipassana?
Yeah, Vipassana, I knew you'd know. Just so you guys know, the videographer behind these videos is an incredibly intelligent man. Incredibly, James Alexander. I'm always going to him for the language. Vipassana. So you heard of a silent retreat, 10-day silent retreat, and people are meditating all day, every day, doing an observing technique. Now, the thing that I want to just explain about all these are conscious. These are on the conscious mind, okay? In other words, like, you have your conscious awareness present in all of this. Like, if you're surfing, you can still think, your mind's still working. When you're connecting, you're thinking in your mind, you're processing what's going on. And when you're observing, you're in your mind like, oh, I'm observing what's going on. Even if you're observing your thoughts, or observing your breath, it's still a conscious form of meditation. Underneath all of this, you have being techniques. Being techniques. And this is what I just want to frame. Being techniques are the only techniques that take you from the conscious to the not unconscious, but superconscious. Now, the reason it's superconscious, not subconscious or unconscious, is because the subconscious is still part of your alert mind. Superconscious is literally the unmanifest. It is a state of being. Now, this is the type of meditation that I'm talking about right now. It's referred to in 3 different ways. I'm just going to actually change the order of how I was going to do this video. So it can be referred to as transcendental meditation, Vedic meditation, or the one giant mind being technique. One giant mind being technique. Now, the way that this technique works is, the reason it's a being technique is because you're not in your conscious mind. So the way that it works is it uses a mantra. And I want to just pre-frame something. The reason that there's a lot of benefits to this, I'm going to go through the benefits more later. But the reason this is powerful is because it uses a transcendence mantra. Now, usually when people meditate and they struggle to meditate, it's because they can't control their thoughts, is the lingo that people throw around. I can't control my thoughts. And then they close their eyes and they're trying not to think, and they're like, far out, I'm thinking of the fact that I'm trying not to think, and I just can't get out of my head, and I'm doing something wrong, because they're still swirling around in their conscious mind. The way that this pure form of meditation works, which is it's the deepest form, because you're not in your conscious mind. You transcend your conscious mind. Now, the way that it works is you use a mantra. Okay, mantra, the word, it means mind vehicle. Mantra, mind vehicle, and you use a transcendence mantra. So to transcend your thoughts. So essentially what's happening is, like, you're thinking and then you repeat this sound in your mind over and over again. You get prescribed it by a transcendental meditation, Vedic meditation, or one giant mind meditation teacher will prescribe you a mantra, which is a transcendence mantra. It allows you to transcend your thoughts. So you land in this place where you're not asleep, but you're not awake either. So you're not asleep, you're literally upright. You're not just like, you're not snoring. If you snore, you're falling asleep. You're literally not awake. And the reason why is because when you're in the unmanifest, the unmanifest is unmanifest. You can't even, like, a human can't just go walking around in the unmanifest. It is everything and nothing at the same time. It is unmanifest. It's stored infinite potential. We live in the manifest world. In the conscious world, like, you can't be conscious in the unmanifest because there's no separation. It's just stored potential. Okay? So a being technique literally delivers your mind to the unmanifest, and therefore you don't have the nervous system to be able to be alert in the unmanifest. That's not what happens. But you slip through the cracks in your mind and you enter this space of extreme mental and physical rest. Very regenerative. But what happens is, I'll use a little metaphor to kind of demonstrate how the mantra works. If this is like the ocean here, and the waves are the thoughts in our minds, and then we have this line which represents like the depth of going from the most the most material to the most immaterial, the most manifest to the most unmanifest. When you are repeating this mantra in your mind, the mind vehicle is designed as you repeat it to allow you to drop to greater depths. So each of these is a mantra. You repeat the sound in your mind, you just say it very effortlessly. And the cool thing about this, and this is not a tutorial on how to practice it, it's allowing you to understand it. I'm going to talk about how to actually learn the technique at the end of this, but this is just giving you a gist of how it works. So use a mantra to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Because it's a transcendence mantra, it's got a resonance to it. It's a mind vehicle that delivers you to a greater state of being. So you start dropping deeper and deeper and deeper until you transcend into being, okay? So mantra, mantra. Now the cool thing about this, and the reason that it's easy to practice, is because when you have a thought come up, what do you do with that? You go, just see it like a cloud passing in your mind. Doesn't work particularly well. But when you're using a mantra, whenever you're feeling, whenever you've got a thought that comes up in your head, and you just imagine it, this is the ocean, this is the depth of the ocean, you're going literally all the way down. As you're going down, if you have a thought, it's kind of like bubbles taking you back to the surface. Bop, 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 bop. But then as soon as you notice that you're thinking, you just come back to the mantra, and then it starts taking you down. And then you start thinking, back to the mantra, taking you down, start thinking, back to the mantra. It gives you a way to be able to, because it's an interesting thing, because the whole purpose behind this process is, the whole theme is surrender. Thoughts and your mind wants to control things. Control and surrender are the opposite. And so we need to use this really subtle mantra as something to repeat in our mind. And you're not focusing on it. You just have like the most subtle ability to go, thoughts. And then the mantra gets repeated, repeated, repeated. And it delivers you to this state of transcendence. It's amazing. I remember when I first practiced it, I was like, whoa. All of a sudden, this is how you know you've been in being. I look at the clock and I'm like, 20 minutes has gone past. I wasn't awake, I wasn't asleep. What the hell happened there? I was resting in being. And that is the way that the technique works with the mantra. The way that it actually functions as practice is you do 22 minutes times 2 per day. You have a morning practice that you do pretty soon after you wake up, and then you do one in the afternoon, like late / early evening, okay? I'm not even going to finish writing that, it just says evening, just scribbled it out. So this is the way that the technique functions. Very, very powerful. Now, I want to talk about where this came from, because this is the most insane story that I've heard in my entire life. So Vedic meditation is something that's been around for a long time. It's something that got passed down through the Vedic traditions, which is ancient Indian wisdom. It's the oldest known wisdom on the planet. There's a series of books called the Vedas. They're known as the oldest knowledge on the planet. They've been around for like 5,000 to 10,000 years, these books and this wisdom. It's crazy stuff, right? But what's really interesting is that a yogi that created TM, Vedic meditation is the same technique as transcendental meditation. Vedic is just like what it actually is in ancient India, and TM is a branded version of Vedic meditation. It's kind of like F45. Now, F45 is a brand of compound movements, intermittent HIIT training. I mean, HIIT training's been around before F45, and 45-minute sessions is not just F45. They've just branded 45-minute HIIT training sessions as F45. TM has branded Vedic meditation as TM. But the really cool thing is the person that founded it, his name is Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. This guy's unbelievable. You'll see why in a second. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. This dude, He's unbelievable. When he was 40 years old, he had a guru he learned off in India that taught him about meditation and whatnot. He then, when he was 40 years old, after his guru passed away, had a cognition to bring this practice to the Western world. And by the way, One Giant Mind is also a similar version. It's not as hardcore, but it's very close as Vedic or TM. But it's also a branded version of Vedic meditation, which is the OG. It's like Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, his guru, whose name was Guru Dev, taught him Vedic meditation and the principles and the Vedic science and wisdom and theology, and then passed it down to him. He then said, I'm taking this to the Western world. He had a cognition. Now, this guy's story is unbelievable. He taught the Beatles to meditate, Oprah, Joe Rogan, just like a lot of celebrities. Get these stats. He has taught over 5 million people to meditate, students. He has certified, he passed away by the way, 40,000 teachers, meditation teachers. He has thousands of meditation centers that he created. Just get this next point. This is some dude that he started this when he was 40 years old, pretty late in life. He comes over from India to the United States and forms TM, Transcendental Meditation. 5 million students over the next 50 years before he passed away in 2008. Get this. This guy, when he passed, had assets from a financial perspective of over $5 billion. People might be like, oh my gosh, he was a guru and he had money. That's bad. What's bad about money? So to learn to practice this technique, it costs around $1,000, whether it's through TM or Vedic meditation. One Giant Mind is slightly cheaper, but it's just not as hardcore. So I would recommend doing one of these two, but if this is still fantastic. $5 billion in assets, this guy. The reason I love that is because a lot of meditation is about escaping the material world. It's like escaping the manifest. This is about establishing yourself in being and then cognizing service in the world. And this guy couldn't have been a better role model for it. The way that it essentially works as well is when you learn TM or Vedic meditation, you'll learn from a teacher. It's like $1,000. It's probably one of the cheapest courses I've done. I've spent over $700,000 on PD. Cheapest, probably the most valuable practice that I've ever learned. When you spend the $1,000, you actually practice it twice daily. You see, 22 minutes twice a day. There's 20 minutes of actual meditation and 2 minutes of integration after you've meditated. Now I'm a meditation teacher certified in this. What you have to do to become a meditation teacher to teach these two, well, Vedic is the most difficult. It's like 3 to 4 months in India most of the time, depending on who the Vedic, like the degree of reverence held by the guru teaching the person to become a meditation teacher. But Vedic meditation, I know my meditation teacher that certifies meditation teachers, they've got to do 3 to 4 months in India meditating all day, every day. With then, it's just insane, like up to 14 hours a day of meditating for 3 to 4 months in a row. It's a real embodiment. It's crazy what you have to do that. Not only that, you have to do 2 years prior worth of retreats, of 6 retreats a year, so 12 retreats total, and then you go do the 3 or 4 months in India. I've done 11 out of the 12 retreats myself. I don't think I'm gonna do this 3 or 4 month course in India, but the bottom line is there's a lot of insane honoring, learning, and embodiment needed to teach this stuff. $1,000 is nothing. And what happens is you learn Vedic meditation. This is the one that I'm going to promote and say, I recommend you doing Vedic meditation. $1,000, you learn with a teacher. They prescribe you a mantra. It's usually a 4-day course, not 4 days straight, but a few hours a day for 4 days. And then what happens is you are then able to attend any other Vedic meditation teacher's weekly group meditations, which means that every week there's like a 2-hour gathering where you can go and learn wisdom. You can go there if you're kind of struggling for accountability with your meditation and stay up to date and be reinvigorated by the community. And that's how the process and the practice grew so much. Group meditations weekly for life. That's how it grew so rapidly, in my opinion, because there was such a thorough community-based initiative, so people actually practiced it. Now, when you practice this, let's talk about the benefits here. I'm gonna have to put this on. Oh no, I don't have to do that. Let's talk about the benefits here. Now, this is a powerful form. It's the most powerful form of the purest form of meditation, because you're going and bathing in this. That then naturally increases your competency from the bottom up. You then increase your observation skills. If you're doing an observing technique like a Vipassana, you're practicing witnessing. When you're in being, you're actually innately improving your witnessing. You're going from the ground up. Now, what's really interesting here, we're going King Kong now. There are 3 main benefits from a productivity and a performance perspective when it comes to meditation, in my opinion. The first one is awareness. Now, understand this. When you're really busy, you miss things. Think of a stereotypical dad in a Hollywood movie misses his daughter's dance recital. You've then got busyness. Busy, you miss things. But when you create space, you see things. Your perceptive awareness, your future pacing, your perceptivity of your environment. Like for me as a business owner, after I started meditating, I started seeing problems propping up in the business before they happened. You know, I was running a 25-person company, and I was like, holy crap, I can see that that person's not fulfilled in their career, in the business. I'm gonna pull them aside and have a chat about them. And lo and behold, they were kind of starting to feel a little bit not aligned with the business anymore because they'd changed their goals or whatnot. It's like, my perceptivity is right on. Before I was just completely ignorant, going aboard a gate, so busy that I was just missing. So the first thing that improves when you start to meditate, when you're creating the most potent and pure form of space that you can create, where it's just like completely spaced, in that spot, you clear, and it creates space for intuition to flow through and perceptive awareness to flow through. So awareness helps with productivity. Productivity in my mind is effectiveness and efficiency put together. Awareness is effectiveness. You then have presence. The more that you practice this, the most pure form of presence, so much so that you're in a pure, complete form of being, state of being. When you're present, you're more efficient. You're practicing the opposite of what society is training our minds to be. ADHD style, rapidly scrolling social media, short-term hits, distraction, reactivity. Our minds are all over the place based on the fact that we're just overwhelmed with information. When you take the time to do 2 potent forms of meditation every day, those pure space forms of complete presence, it trains your mind to be more present. So then when it comes to doing a particular activity, you can sit down and do it from start to finish quicker because you're not distracted and let's do a little bit here, a little bit there. It increases your presence, which makes you more efficient. The other part to the efficiency is energy. I want you to think about your capacity to get things done in a day. It's like you've got a certain amount of energy. And then you've got demands in the day. If you want to get more and be able to deal with more demands, like get more shit done, you've got to increase your energy, or you can do the demands even though you don't have the energy. It creates a energy deficit and then you get sick, there's toxicity in your body, it's unsustainable. And a lot of people do that with synthetic things like coffee and stuff. But what this form of meditation does is, because it's such a restful state, is the energy capacity increases. People have said, I'm not fully behind, I feel like it's a bit of nonsense. To a certain, I think there's some truism, but I think it's exaggerated. But people have said like, this form of meditation is worth like 20 minutes of this meditation. And I've noticed this for the second form. I call it the spiritual siesta, because you do your second meditation in the afternoon, late afternoon. I do mine early afternoon actually, probably around 2 o'clock usually, not every day, but most of the time. And then that gives me a second wind for the day. It really like restores my energy and gives me a second wind for the day. Now that boosts the energy, I can then handle more demands for the day, all right? So that helps with my efficiency as well, because I can work for longer, I can do more with my day. This is from a productivity, effectiveness, performance standpoint, what are the benefits? The obvious one is that it massively transforms the degree of fulfillment you experience in your life, because you're starting to see things more and feel things more and notice things more. Your empathy, compassion, love, the ability to be present, sure, that helps you get more things done, but it also allows you to have a greater appreciation for the connections and the experiences you're having with friends, family members, loved ones, co-workers, etc. You really start to appreciate your life at a whole other depth. Now, this whole practice is next level. It's the best thing that I've done. So what you can do to learn this practice, and I'm highly recommending this, I don't get anything from this, is Google Vedic meditation in your city. Google Vedic meditation in your city. Find a Vedic meditation teacher. Okay, look at their reviews, because there's obviously, just because someone does the course, different people are going to have a greater sense of reverence, but generally they're pretty amazing. But just find someone that resonates with you, with their energy, and give this a whirl. This is seriously such an amazing practice. It's changed my life forever. And if you get in touch with me and you're like, oh, I watched that video and it's been 2 years later, I know that you'll message me and everything will have changed. Because when your awareness, your perceptive awareness starts to increase when you practice this, your intuition becomes more powerful because you created the space to see things, and change starts to happen in your life way faster. It's kind of like a turbocharge of personal development, like a rocket ship that's just turboing it, because you see things quicker, so you make changes quicker, so you grow quicker. So I would love to receive that message. So give it a whirl. Google Vedic meditation, find a local teacher in your area, by the way, ... And guys, if you found this video valuable, click the like button. It'll help the algorithm push out for more videos, so more people can see the video. And make sure that if you haven't yet, click subscribe. Be awesome to have you on the channel so we can go through this journey of personal and spiritual development, growth together, so you can actualize your dreams. Now, comment on the thing. What form of meditation have you tried? What sort of meditations have you tried? I'd love to hear about it. I look at the comments, and it's been awesome having you guys here. Massive love, and I'll see you in my next video.